Alright, so I finally watched Elemental, and I gotta say, I was pretty surprised. I loved every second of this movie. Some parts made me laugh, I'm not gonna lie. Keep in mind this is not the greatest Pixar film ever made, but it's still a good time. This is the first time in a while a Pixar movie actually made me feel something. Obviously, this movie contains spoilers if you haven't seen it, but I don't think I need to because it has been a while, so if you've just seen the movie, just stick around. If you haven't, just what are you doing? The film follows Ember, a girl who is supposed to take over her father's restaurant because her father's planning on retiring. She then meets Wade, a water guy, who tries telling her that there's more to life than what her father wants. And then they start getting along, then they start to develop feelings for each other. Then Ember gets mad and says, no, we don't match. Wade doesn't give up on her and he tries to still win her back. Wade sacrifices himself for Ember, etc, etc. They kiss, blah, blah, blah. You guys know the rest if you guys have seen the movie. Yeah, I didn't really have a bad time with this movie. Despite some annoying moments, some annoying dialogue, and some goofy characters, it's still an extraordinary ride. I'm not usually the one for rom-coms. I couldn't finish To All the Boys I Loved Before with my siblings, but I sat through this movie not feeling bored at all. This movie touches on great topics: immigration, different cultures, relationships, and this is all being done in a Pixar movie I thought was gonna do badly. I surprisingly enjoyed this movie. While it's not the perfect thing ever made, it's still a fantastic movie, don't get me wrong. There are some scenes that were surprisingly emotional. Some of its comedy and puns didn't really hit for me, but hey, you know, it's there. I find it surprising that some people rate this movie so badly. Me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with the film. I must admit, I did come into this movie with low expectations, but it surprisingly blew my mind. It was a great Pixar film, and it had a good plot. Nothing, no villain, no bad guys, no nothing. It just followed on two elements connecting together. Now for the plot, for me, I'm just gonna give this a 9 out of 10. A 90 out of 10 if I need to, because everything about this film feels so real. I love that in my movies. I love when things feel realistic, like I am the character in that movie, like how I can feel when I feel something that way. Now the plot is a 90 out of 10 or 100. Well, you understand what I'm trying to say. It's just a higher ranked movie. I know, surprising to some, but I just enjoyed Elemental very much. There was so much stuff that I liked about this movie. First up, the immigration part. As being a son to immigrants, I completely related to that. It low-key reminded me of my parents and what they went through back in the day. Another thing I enjoyed was the characters. They felt actually realistic and relatable. Especially Ember, and here's why. Her whole life she thought that she needed to take over her father's business because that's what her father wanted. You know, she's not really listening to anyone. She's literally having these rage-out moments throughout the movie because she's just confused and doesn't know what to do with her life. But then we meet another good character named Wade, who is just chill and actually tries to figure out what she wants to do. He helps her figure out what she wants to do, and that's what makes them have a good chemistry. The characters are very diverse and interesting. That's what I love in my movies. I love when characters are like that. Some Pixar films don't follow this formula. Take Lightyear, for example. I didn't give a crap about Lightyear. They had a very cliche story, not that much interesting characters, and that antagonist was it was just sad to watch. But in this movie, they kind of handle it a little bit differently. Sure, some cliche moments. Sure, some predictable moments. But they handled it very realistically and mature to the point where I was, again, surprised that this was a Pixar movie. But why did it bomb? That's my question. Was it set to fail? It told a pretty good story, in my opinion. I thought it told a pretty good story. I feel like they did everything right, and Pixar needs to continue at doing that. But it's not that people hated it, people just didn't care about it. They did not give less of a crap about this film. This movie and The Flash are struggling in the box office. It just breaks my heart, because I actually felt like this was a good sign for Pixar to continue what they're doing. Pixar needs to step up their game. It was this movie that made me completely change my mind about Pixar. I thought they were in hot dookie because of how many videos I had seen of people trashing on Pixar, saying that they're worried about Pixar. But nah, man, this movie was actually really good, heartwarming, teached a really good lesson that I think younger kids would enjoy. I hope, if they're smart, I'm sorry. And it's just a good family film. I feel like you would relate to this immensely. But like I said, I don't think people hated it. I just don't think it was advertised enough. I don't think people really noticed it. But if they did notice it, they just didn't care about it, which is kind of sad. But that was just certain stuff that I wanted to say about it. Despite me hating The Good Dinosaur very much, Peter Son, this movie, you did a good job. If it bombs, I don't care. He did a good job in Elemental. Elemental, in my opinion, has gotta be one of the best Pixar movies I've ever seen so far. Although it's not the greatest, it's still a decent spot in the middle. Told a pretty good story, had very interesting characters I didn't think I was ever gonna like. The animation is just so bright and stunning. It was so nice to show the detail in every single scene. The whole world we witness is just so fascinating. Congrats to Peter Sohn on making this amazing film. And again, although if it bombs, if it becomes a box office disappointment, I'll still support this movie because it's really good. And that is all I have to say about Elemental, guys. This is just a really great movie. I didn't expect to like it, but everything just instantly got me hooked on. It felt like the old Pixar again. It felt like Pixar was doing the thing that made me love their studio in the first place. But hey, these are my opinions. If you guys hate the film, that's your guys' problem. Me personally, I just enjoyed this film. But tell me what you guys think about the film. Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you think they could have done more with the characters? Please let me know in the comments right now. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Those of y'all who are new, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to spread that love, spread that positivity, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.